But yeah, I was like so like burnt out all day that I didn't really do anything. I just kind of like lurked a few streams. I ended up like I played Risk of Rain a little. I really didn't do that much, but honestly, I feel like I was like really tired. I really like streaming, and I'm definitely gonna continue streaming. It's just that ever since I started being a VTuber, I have always struggled with like finding a balance between all the things that I want to do and having time for hanging out with the friends and the homies and still working a full-time job. And it's like, it's a learning process because I've also learned so much about myself and limits that I didn't even know I had. And one thing that I'm terrible with is knowing my limits. I'm always trying to do everything. I'm always on the grind. I always want to aim for things. And I think that every so often, I kind of like burn out because I'm trying to do everything at once. And even though I am aware of these things, I have the hardest time like actually putting aside the energy and actually like restructuring what I do, or even cutting back what I do in order to make everything work. And I think what happened is this was one of those weeks where I kind of like hit that peak and I was like, I can't do anything. And I think that was like why I was so tired all day by the time I got to the weekend. Because I usually am not like that when I get to the weekend. Usually when I get to the weekend, I'm like, I want to draw and then I'm going to stream and I'm going to do this and that and this and that because I've been working all week and I want to do all the fun things. But this time I was like, after I got off work Friday, I was like, I'm just going to sit here and be a potato. And then I sat in bed for like an extra hour. Like Janie and all my other friends was reminding me, you do have to rest, and that is something I'm actively working on and getting better with. I did not realize that, hey, Lumina, you have limits. And I'm still working on it, but sometimes I think that I know my limits, or I would try to do a little bit more than what I was doing before. Or I try to make some adjustment or try something new, and then I realize, wait, that actually is too much. So I'll try something new. And then I'm like, wait, that is too much. So I think that over time, I've been slowly realizing or trying to get better at where my limits are. So that way I can operate within them. And I think this is just one of those days where I just had to like actively acknowledge my limits and just kind of like narrow everything down to what I really want to do as a VTuber and as an artist, because being an artist is a whole separate thing on top of being a VTuber, and it's something that I do like want to combine, and I do want to like try to combine like the efforts of being an artist with being a VTuber. I want to do the art streams, I want to do all of that, but it's a matter of finding a balance. And really, I think I'm starting to realize like there are some things that I might still have to cut back on, and I've been in denial about it, but I think I'm gonna start being a little bit more like, I'm gonna like take some time next week to kind of figure that out and figure out the best balance of everything that I want to do versus how to achieve the things that I'm not doing right now and how to still do those things. The biggest thing on my mind definitely is actually finishing my ref sheet. I want to finish my ref sheet, right? But it is a big project. Like, just doing a drawing of Lumina is not the same as making a ref sheet, and that is something that I really want to accomplish. But for me to do it, I actually probably will have to like step away from streaming for a bit, because all of the mental energy that goes into properly making that ref sheet, getting all the details that I wanted to have on there, it's gonna take a whole lot of concentration and focus. And between working full-time, I probably will have to like reserve my energy in that way. And yes, Goo, I hope to start doing that soon. I hope to actually start doing like art streams and actually making a thing. Because I actually really do want to share with you guys like more Lumina art, and I want to share my other OCs as well. I know I've talked about it before, And I thought that I was just like ready to do it, right? But I do have some adjustments to make in order to be able to accomplish that. And I've been coming to terms with that for over the past few months. Yes! Oh my god, Goo, I'm so happy you mentioned Cake Mage. Cake Mage is literally like my bucket list project. And I'm determined to make that happen. And I'm determined so much that even if I have to put being a VTuber to the side to actually get that off the ground, which I hope that I don't have to, but if it came to it, I will. But that is like my most important project, and I will start drawing for a Cake Mage on stream. I think that's where I want to start. I will be honest and admit that when I started VTubing, it really was all for this project, Cake Mage, which some of you guys might be hearing about for the first time. I originally started VTubing with this plan of streaming the games that inspire me as an artist to help find the people who would enjoy and appreciate not just the games that I like, but also would appreciate the art and content that I would make that's inspired by those things that inspired me. And that was like my inspiration going into VTubing. And I have really enjoyed, ever since debut, it's been like a ton of fun. I have had so much fun. But I think that I'm realizing that I low-key kind of have lost sight of what I started VTubing for. And I think a part of this burnout is me realizing that I have not actually gone for what I started VTubing for. And that's not a bad thing. Like, what I'm doing with VTubing now, and all the people that I've made friends with, and all the fun memories that I've made so far, I treasure the heck out of those. Like, I appreciate Salix, Dew, Pim, Raps, Mari, Leviathan. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate Janie. I appreciate Koshan. I appreciate Rockbell. Like, I could name so many names off the top of my head. I really, really have this thing that's close to my heart, and I hope that I can actually like find that balance in order to really do what I set out as a VTuber to do, and still do all the things that I currently find fun about VTubing now. So that is the little rant that's been on my brain. For those who like listen to my little rant, I greatly appreciate it. Some of you guys have heard me like mention it here and there, but I think this is probably like the first time I've really like said the whole thing that's on my mind. The most important thing to do in life is strive to live happily. And yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I am striving to live happily. And it's not really that I was looking like, it's not like, oh, I'm worried about if people won't approve or anything. But sometimes I feel like I do things a certain way, and I low-key worry that people might be confused by like why I do things a certain way. So I think that's what it is. I think I just I accidentally poisoned Pim by throwing wizard grass at her. Girl, I am so sorry. Pim, I'm sorry. Go back to the barn and get some rest. Oops. I don't know how to cure her. Do people understand? Like, have I been like very vocal about why I do things the way that I do, or do I just do them and leave people confused? I think that's what was like stuck on my mind that made me want to rant, or at least like express what I was thinking.